do Morrowind. We'll do Morrowind. Honestly, I am craving a little bit of Morrowind. Here we go. Do 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 do. And then the next time we stream Baldur's Gate, we'll do the DLC. So that we can catch up with that. Because I thought that it could be something that might be able to ignore, but I think not. I don't think you can ignore it. There's too many, apparently there's a lot that I missed in the DLC, so we can do the DLC. To be fair, I didn't even realize that it was DLC. I guess that makes sense. There you go.
From where do you hail, friend?
Okay, let's see. What are we gonna do? We hadn't heard of a 6K, right? So... Oh, that's what we were doing. Okay. So we were doing the Vivek Informers. So we got Linnea, and then we need to go to... Milo, a temple priestess, and then also whoever this is, Khajiit Guild, Thieves Guild operative in Ohms. Okay. Alright, yeah, we were staying here because.
Alright, I'm listening.
You're part of the house.
So, where are you from? What busy guys? You're not hurrying this up.
Alright, so I guess the next place we go is St. So we'll go to Holmes next. The temple compound. Okay, so Holmes is... Sure why it's all faded, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. I guess we could technically, like, boat there. Let's go actually take the boat. That'll just be faster. Hello. Travel. Ooh.
Quickly, Outlander. I haven't much time.
I don't even know which side. Let's go. Maybe we can go to the arena. Let's go to the arena. Yeah, that was right. Okay. Then we just cross the bridge. Wait, which bridge?
Speak quickly, Outlander, or go away.
Cross this one.
Keep moving.
Okay, so then who are we looking for? We're looking for... the Thieves Guild operative. Okay. Alright, well we can do that. Or not. Okay, maybe not. Okay, just kidding, we can't enter there. I just assumed that there was gonna be like an up. Maybe there is a... Hello. Looking for a friend of mine, a female named Eleanor. Do you know where I can find her? Well, no. Yes, her name is. Yeah, I'm looking for her. No. Okay.
Let's hear it.
Also, I'm wondering, are you a theater guy? There's like the new play. Yeah, but like, do you know how to join the poor tongue? Okay. Let's see. So, oh.
My time is precious, so make it quick.
Please move. Move!
Go ahead. We're watching you, scum.
Hello?
My time is precious, so make it quick.
What are you? It is rumors. Okay.
I'm waiting.
Hello. Ardenhar? Latest rumors.
Make it quick.
Let's do some reading. That was the perfect time to do this. Okay. Let's see, where let's do the biography of Baron Late in the Second Era, a girl child, Baron-Zaya, was born to the rulers of the kingdom of Mournhold in what is now the imperial province of Morrowind. She was reared in all the luxury and security befitting a royal dark elfin child until she reached 5 years of age. At the time, at the time, His Excellency Tiber Septim I, the first Emperor of Tamriel, demanded that the decadent ruler of Morrowind yield to him and institute imperial reforms. Trusting to their vaunted magic, the Dark Elves impudently refused until Tiber Septim's army was on the borders. An armistice was hastily signed by the now eager Dunmer, but not before there were several battles, one of which laid waste to Mournhold, now called Alexio. Little Princess Baron-Zaya and her nurse were found among the wreckage. The Imperial General Simicus himself, a dark elf, suggested to Tiber Septim that the child might someday be valuable, and she was therefore placed with a loyal supporter who had recently retired from the Imperial Army. Sven Edvinsson had been granted the title of Count upon his retirement. His fiefdom, Darkmoor, was a small town in central Skyrim. Count Sven and his wife reared the princess as their own daughter, seeing to it that she was educated appropriately, and more importantly, that the imperial virtues of obedience, discretion, loyalty, and piety were instilled in the child. In short, she was made fit to take her place as a member of the new ruling class of Morrowind. The girl Baron-Zaya grew in beauty, grace, and intelligence. She was sweet-tempered, a joy to her adoptive parents and their 5 young sons, who loved her as their elder sister. Other than her appearance, she differed from young girls of her class only in that she had a stronger empathy for the woods and fields, and was wont to escape her household duties to wander there at times. Baron-Zaya was happy and content until her 16th year, when a wicked orphan stable boy, whom she had befriended out of pity, told her he had overheard a conspiracy between her guardian, Count Sven, and the Red Guard visitor to sell her as a concubine in Rehad, as no Nord or Breton would marry her on account of her black skin, and no dark elf would have her because of her foreign upbringing. "Whatever shall I do?" the poor girl said, weeping and trembling, for she had been brought up in innocence and trust, and it never occurred to her that her friend, the stable boy, would lie to her. The wicked boy, who was called Straw, said that she must run away if she valued her virtue, but that he would come with her as her protector. Sorrowfully, Baron-Zaya agreed to this plan, and that very night, she disguised herself as a boy, and the pair escaped to the nearby city of Whiterun. After a few days there, they managed to get jobs as guards for a disreputable merchant caravan. The caravan was heading east by side roads in a mendacious attempt to elude the awful tolls charged on the imperial highways. Thus, the pair eluded pursuit until they reached the city of Riften. There, where they ceased their travels for a time. They felt safe in Riften, close as it was to the Morrowind border, so that dark elves were enough of a common sight. Okay. Volume 2. The first volume of the series told the story of Baranzai's origin, heiress to the throne of Mournhold, until her father rebelled against His Excellency Septon I and brought ruin to the province of Morrowind. Thanks largely to the benevolence of the Emperor, this child, Baranzai, was not destroyed with her parents, but reared by Count Sven of Darkmoor, a loyal imperial trustee. She grew up into a beautiful, pious child, trustful of her guardian's care. This trust, however, was exploited by a wicked orphan stable boy at Count Sven's estate, who with lies and fabrications tricked her into fleeing Darkmoor with him when she turned 16. After many adventures on the road, they settled in Riften, a Skyrim city near the Morrowind borders. The stable boy, Straw, was not altogether evil. He loved Baranzai in his own selfish fashion. And the deception was the only way he could think of that would cement possession of her. She, of course, felt only friendship toward him, but he was hopeful she would gradually change her mind. He wanted to buy a small farm and settle down into a comfortable marriage, but at the time his earnings were barely enough to feed and shelter them. After only a short time in Riften, Straw fell in with a bold, villainous Khajiit thief named Theris, who proposed that they rob the imperial commandant's house in the central part of the city. Theris said that he had a client, a traitor to the Empire, who would pay well for any information they could gather there. Baranzai happened to overhear this plan and was appalled. She stole away from their rooms and walked the streets of Riften in desperation, torn between her loyalty to the Empire and her love for her friends. In the end, loyalty to the Empire prevailed over personal friendship. She approached the commandant's house, revealed her true identity, and warned him of her friend's plan. The commandant listened to her tale, praised her for courage, and assured her that no harm would come to her. He was none other than General Symmachus, who had been scouring the countryside in search of her since her disappearance. and just arrived in Riften, hot in pursuit. He took her into his custody and informed her of that. Far from being sent away to be sold, she was to be reinstated as the Queen of Mournhold as soon as she turned 18. Until that time, she was to live with the Septim family in the newly built imperial city, where she would learn something of government and be presented at the imperial court. At the imperial city, Baron Zaya befriended the Emperor Tiber Septim during the middle years of his reign. Tiber's children, particularly his eldest son and heir Pelagius, came to love her as a sister. The ballads of the day praised her beauty, chastity, wit, and learning. On her 18th birthday, the entire imperial city turned out to watch her farewell. The procession, preliminary to her return to her native land. Sorrowful as they were at her departure, all knew that she was ready for the glorious destiny as sovereign of the kingdom of Mournhold. Jeez, that's depressing. Okay, wow. That was a roller coaster. I was not expecting that. Let's do overview of gods worship. Brotherhood at Petchfeld is an associate scribe at the Imperial University, Office of Introductory Studies. Gods are commonly judged upon the evidence of their interest in worldly matters. A central belief in the active participation of deities in mundane matters can be challenged by the reference to apparent apathy and indifference on the part of gods during times of plague or famine. From intervention in legendary quests to manifestations in common daily life, no pattern for the gods of Tamriel activities is readily perceived. The concerns of gods, in many ways, may seem unrelated or, at best, unconcerned with the daily trials of the mortal realm. The exceptions do exist, however. Many historical records and legends point to the direct intervention of one or more gods at times of great need. Many heroic tales recount blessings of the divinity bestowed upon heroic figures who worked or quested for the good of a deity or the deity's temple. Some of the more powerful artifacts in the known world were originally bestowed upon their owners through such reward. It has also been reported that the priests of high ranking in their temples may on occasion call upon their deity for blessings or help in time of need. The exact nature of such contact and the blessings bestowed is given to much speculation, as the temples hold such associations secret and holy. This direct contact gives weight to the belief that the gods are aware of the mortal realm. In many circumstances, however, these same gods will do nothing in the face of suffering and death, seeming to feel no need to interfere. It is thus impossible to conclude that we, as mortals, may not be capable of understanding more than a small fraction of the reasoning and logic such beings use. One defining characteristic of all gods and goddesses is their interest in worship and deeds. Deeds in the form of a holy quest are just one of the many things that bring the attention of a deity. Deeds in everyday life, by conforming to the statutes and obligations of individual temples, are commonly supposed to please a deity. Performance of ceremony in a temple may also bring a deity's attention. Ceremonies vary according to the individual deity. The results are not always apparent, but sacrifice and offerings are usually required to have any hope of gaining a deity's attention. While direct intervention in daily temple life has been recorded, the exact nature of the presence of a god in daily mundane life is a subject of controversy. A traditional saying of the Wood Elves is that one man's miracle is another man's accident. While some gods are believed to take an active part of daily life, others are well known for their lack of interest in temporal affairs. It has been theorized that gods do in fact gain strength from such things as worship through praise, sacrifice, and deed. It may even be theorized that the number of worshippers a given deity has may reflect on his overall position among the other gods. This is my conjecture, garnered from the apparent ability of the larger temples to attain blessings and assistance from their god, with greater ease than smaller religious institutions. There are reports of the existence of spirits in our world that have the same capacity to use the actions and deeds of mortals to strengthen themselves as do the gods. The understanding of the exact nature of such creatures would allow us to understand more clearly the connection between a deity and the deity's worshippers. The implication of the existence of such spirits leads to the speculation that these spirits may even be capable of raising themselves to the level of a god or goddess. Motusoa of the Imperial Seminary has suggested that these spirits may be the remains of gods and goddesses who through time lost all or most of their following, reverting to their earliest, most basic form. Practitioners of the old ways say that there are no gods, just greater and lesser spirits. Perhaps it is possible for all three theories to be true. I'll be right back. Once again. Right, let's go. Alright, let's see. Origin of the Mages Guild. Let's do that one. The idea of a collection of mages, sorcerers, and assorted mystics pooling their resources and talents for the purpose of research and public charity was a revolutionary concept in the early years of the Second Era. Sorry. The only organization then closest in aim and structure to what we know today as the Mages Guild was the Sigic Order of the Isle of Artarium. At the time, the magic was something to be learned by individuals or, at most, within intimate covens. Mages were, if not actually hermits, usually quite solitary. The Sigic Order served the rulers of Somerset Isle as counselors and chose its members through a complex ritualized method not understood by outsiders. Its purpose and goals likewise went unpublished, and detractors attributed the worst evils as sources of the Order's power. Actually, the religion of the Old Order could be described as ancestor worship. Hello? Hey! Okay then. Of the Isle. Oh, wait, what? Actually, the religion of the Old Order could be described as ancestor worship, an increasingly unfashionable philosophy in the Second Era. When Vanus Galerian, a Sigic of Artaeum, and student of the famed Iacchus, began collecting magic users from around Somerset Isle, he attracted the animosity of all. He was operating out of the urban center of Firsthold, and there was a common and not entirely unfounded attitude that magical experiments should be conducted only in unpopulated areas. Even more shocking, Galerian proposed to make magical items, potions, and even spells available to any member of the general public who could afford to pay. No longer was magic to be limited either to aristocracy or intelligentsia. Galerian was brought before Iacchus, and the king of Firsthold, Relis XII, and made to state the intention of the fraternity he was forming. The fact that Galerian's speech to Relis and Iacchus was not recorded for posterity is doubtless a tragedy, though it does afford an opportunity for historians to amuse one another with speculation about the lies and persuasions Galerian might have used to found the ubiquitous organization. The charter, at any rate, was approved. Almost immediately after the guild was formed, the question of security was to be addressed. The Isle of Artaeum did not require a force of arms to shield it from invaders. When the Sijic Order does not wish someone to land on the Isle, it and all its inhabitants simply become insubstantial. The new Mages Guild, by contrast, had to hire guards. Galarian soon discovered that the Tamrielian nobility was known for thousands of years. Has known for thousands of years. Oh, sorry. Galarians soon discovered what the Tamrielian nobility has known for thousands of years. Money alone does not buy loyalty. The Knightly Order of the Lamp was formed the following year. Like a tree from an acorn, the Mages Guild grew branches all over Somerset Isle and gradually the mainland of Tamriel. There are numerous records of superstitious or sensibly fearful rulers forbidding the guild in their domains, but their heirs eventually recognized the wisdom of allowing the guild free reign. The Mages Guild has become a powerful force in Tamriel, a dangerous foe if a somewhat disinterested ally. There have been only a few rare incidents the Mages Guild actually become involved in local political struggles. On these occasions, the Guild's participation has been the ultimate decider in the conflict. It is begun by Vanus Galarian. The Mages Guild as an institution is presided over by a supreme council of 6 magisters. Each guild hall is run by a guild magister, assisted by a twofold council, the Master of Incunabula and a Master at Arms. The Master of Incunabula presides over an additional council of 2 mages, the Master of Academia and the Master of the Scry. The Master at Arms also has a council of 2 and Master of Initiates, and the Palatinus and leader of the local chapter of the Order of the Lamp. One need not be a member of the Mages Guild to know that this carefully contrived hierarchy is often nothing more than a chimera. As Vanus Galarian himself said bitterly, leaving Tamriel to travel to other lands. The guild has become nothing more than an intricate morass of political infighting. Alright then. Now, here we go. The final series of books that we'll read. A Brief History of the Empire. Part 1. Before the rule of Tiber all Tamriel was in chaos. The poet Trapezes called the period of continuous unrest days and nights of blood and venom. The kings were a petty lot of grasping tyrants who fought Tiber's attempts to bring order to the land. But they were as disorganized as they were dissolute, and the strong hand of Septim brought peace forcibly to Tamriel. The year was 2E 896. The following year, the Emperor declared the beginning of a new era. Thus began the Third Era year out. For 30 years, the Emperor Tiberius reigned supreme, It was a lawful, pious, and glorious age, when justice was known to one and all, from serf to sovereign. On Tiber's death, it reigned for an entire fortnight, as if the land of Tamriel itself was weeping. The emperor's grandson, Pelagius, came to the throne, though his reign was short. He was as strong and resolute as his father had been, and Tamriel could have enjoyed a continuation of the Golden Age. Alas, an unknown enemy of the Septim family hired that accursed organization of cutthroats, the Dark Brotherhood, to kill the Emperor Pelagius I, as he knelt at prayer at the temple of the One in the imperial city. Pelagius I's reign lasted less than 3 years. Pelagius had no living children, so the crown imperial passed to his first cousin, the daughter of Tiber's brother, Agnorith. Kintira, former queen of Silvanar, assumed the throne as Kintira I. Her reign was blessed with prosperity and good harvests, and she herself was an avid patroness of art, music, and dance. Kintira's son was crowned after her death, the first emperor of Tamriel, to use the imperial name Uriel. Uriel I was the great lawmaker of the Septim dynasty, and a promoter of independent organizations and guilds. Under his kind but firm hand, the Fighters Guild and the Mages Guild increased in prominence throughout Tamriel. His son and successor, Uriel II, reigned for 18 years, from the death of Uriel I in 3E64 to Pelagius II's ascension in 3E82. Tragically, the rule of Uriel II was cursed with blights, plagues, and insurrections. The tenderness he inherited from his father did not serve Tamriel well, and little justice was done. Pelagius II inherited not only the throne of from his father, but the debt that from the latter's poor financial and judicial management. Pelagius dismissed all of the elders' council and allowed only those willing to pay great sums to assume their seats. He encouraged similar acts among his vassals and the kings of Tamriel, and by the end of his 17-year reign, Tamriel had returned to prosperity. His critics, however, have suggested that an advisor possessed of wisdom but not of gold had been summarily ousted by Pelagius. This may have led to some of the troubles his son Antiochus faced when he in turn became emperor. Antiochus was certainly one of the more flamboyant members of the usually austere Septim family. He had numerous mistresses and nearly as many wives, and was renowned for his grandeur of his dress and his high good humor. Unfortunately, his reign was rife with civil war, surpassing even that of his grandfather Uriel II, the War of the Isle in 3E10. 12 years after Antiochus assumed the throne, nearly took the province of Somerset Isle away from Tamriel. The United Alliance of the Kings of Somerset and Antiochus only managed to defeat King Orgum of the island kingdom of Pyandonia due to a freak storm. Legend credits the Sigil Order of the Isles of Artea with the sorcery behind the Tempest. The story of Kintira II, heirs to her father Antiochus's throne, is certainly one of the saddest tales in imperial history. Her first cousin, Uriel, son of Queen Potema of Solitude, accused Kintira of being a bastard, alluding to the infamous decadence of the imperial city during her father's reign. When this accusation failed to stop her coronation, Uriel bought the support of several disgruntled kings of High Rock, Skyrim, and Morrowind, and with Queen Potema's assistance, he coordinated 3 attacks on the Septim Empire. Oh shit. The first attack occurred in the Iliac Bay region, which separates High Rock and Hammerfell. Kintira's entourage was massacred and the Empress taken captive. For 2 years, Kintira II languished in an imperial prison, believed to be somewhere in Glenpoint or Glenmoral, before she was slain in her cell under mysterious circumstances. The second attack was on a series of coastal Morrowind islands. The Empress's consort, Contin Erix, fell defending the forts. The third and final attack was a siege of Imperial City itself, occurring after the Elder Council had split up the army to attack western High Rock and western Morrowind. The weakened government had little defense against Uriel's determined aggression, and capitulated after only a fortnight of resistance. Uriel took the throne, and Uriel took the throne the same evening, and proclaimed himself Uriel III, Emperor of Tamriel. The year was 3E 121. Thus began the War of the Red Diamond, described in Volume 2 of the series. Alright, here we go. Volume 2. Volume 1 of the series described in brief the lives of the first 8 emperors of the Septim dynasty, beginning with the glorious Tiber Septim and ending with his great-great-great-great-great-grandniece, Kintira II. Kintira's murder of in Glenpoint, while in captivity, is considered by some to be the end of the pure strain of Septim blood in the imperial family. Certainly, it marks the end of something significant. Uriel III not only proclaimed himself Emperor of Tamriel, but also Uriel Septim III, taking the eminent surname as a title. In truth, his surname was Mentiarco from his father's line. In time, Uriel III was deposed, and his crimes reviled. But the tradition of taking the name Septim as a title for the Emperor of Tamriel did not die with him. For 6 years, the War of Red Diamond, which takes its name from the Septim family's famous badge, tore the empire apart. The combatants were 3 surviving children of Pelagius II, Potema, Sepphoris, and Magnus, and their various offspring. Potema, of course, supported her son Uriel III, and had the combined support of all of Tamriel and northern Morrowind. With the efforts of Sephiroth and Magnus, however, the province of High Rock turned cold. The provinces of Hammerfell, Somerset Isle, Valenwood, Elsewhere, and Blackmarsh were divided in their loyalty, but most kings supported Sephiroth and Magnus. In 3E127, Uriel III was captured at the Battle of Ichabod. Not Ichabod. Ickadag in Hammerfell. En route to his trial in the Imperial City, a mob overtook his prisoner's carriage and burned him alive within it. His captor and uncle continued on to the Imperial City, and by common acclaim was proclaimed Sephiroth I, Emperor of Tamriel. Sephiroth's reign was marked by nothing but war. By all accounts, he was a kind and intelligent man. But what Tamriel needed was a great warrior. And he fortunately was that. It took an additional 10 years of constant warfare for him to defeat his sister Potema, the so-called Wolf Queen of Solitude, who died in the siege of his city-state in year 137. Sephiroth survived his sister by only 3 years. He never had time during the war years to marry, so it was his brother, the 4th child of Pelagius II, who assumed the throne. The Emperor of Magnus was already elderly when he took up the imperial diadem, and the business of punishing the traitorous kings of the War of the Red Diamond drained much of his remaining strength. Legend accuses Magnus' son and heir, Pelagius III, of patricide, but that seems highly unlikely for no other reason than that Pelagius was king of Solitude following the death of Potema, and seldom visited the imperial city. Pelagius III, sometimes called Pelagius the Mad, was proclaimed emperor in 145th year of the Third Era. Almost from the start, his eccentricities of behavior were noted at court. He embarrassed dignitaries, offended his what? He embarrassed dignitaries, offended his vassal kings, and on one occasion marked the end of an imperial grand ball by attempting to hang himself. His long-suffering wife was finally awarded the regency of Tamriel, and Pelagius III was sent to a series of healing institutions and asylums until his death in 3E153, the age of 34. The Empress Regent of Tamriel was proclaimed Empress Kataria. Upon the death... Empress Kataria I, upon the death of her husband. Some who do not mark the end of the Septim bloodline with the death of Kintara II consider the ascendancy of this dark elf woman the true marks of its decline. Her defenders, on the other hand, assert that though Kataria was not descended from Tiber, the son she had with Pelagius was, so the imperial chain did continue. Okay, so the son that she had with Pelagius was a descendant of Tiber, right? So the imperial line continued. Despite racist assertions to the contrary, Kataria's 46-year reign was one of the most celebrated in Tamriel's history. Uncomfortable within the imperial city, Kataria traveled extensively throughout the empire, such as no emperor ever had since Tiber's day. She repaired much of the damage that previous emperors' broken alliances and bungled diplomacy created. The people of Tamriel came to love their empress far more than the nobility did. Kataria's death in a minor skirmish in Blackmarsh is a favorite subject of conspiracy-minded historians. The sage Montelius' discovery, for instance, was a disenfranchised branch of the Septim family, and their involvement with the skirmish was a revelation indeed. When Cassinder assumed the throne upon the death of his mother, he was already middle-aged. Only half-elven, he aged like a Breton. In fact, he left the rule of Wayrest to his brother Uriel due to poor health. Nevertheless, as the only true blood relation of Pelagius and thus Tiber, he was pressed into accepting the throne. To no one's surprise, the Emperor Cassinder's reign did not last long. In 2 years, he joined his predecessors in an eternal slumber. Uriel Lariat, Cassinder's half-brother, and the child of Kataria I, and her imperial consort, Galavir Lariat, after the death of Pelagius III, left the kingdom of Wayrest to reign as Uriel IV. Legally, Uriel IV was a septim. Cassinder had adopted him into the royal family when he had become king of Wayrest. Nevertheless, the council and the people of Tamriel to the council and the people of Tamriel, he was a bastard child of Kataria. Uriel did not possess the dynamism of his mother, and his long 43-year reign was a hotbed of sedition. Uriel IV's story is told in the 3rd volume of the series. Oh, okay, here we go. Volume 3, almost done. The first volume of the series told in brief the series. The first volume of the series told in brief the story of the succession of the first 8 emperors of the Septim dynasty, from Tiber I to Tityrus II. The second volume described the War of the Red Diamond and the 6 emperors that followed its aftermath, from Uriel III to Cassinder I. At the end of that volume, it was described how the Emperor Cassinder's half-brother, Ur IV, assumed the throne of the Empire of Tamriel. It will be recalled that Ur IV was not a septim by birth. His mother, though she reigned as empress for many years, was a dark elf, married to a true septim, Emperor Pelagius III. Uriel's father was actually Kataria the First's consort after Pelagius' death, a Breton nobleman named Galivir Lariat. Before taking the throne of Emperor Cassinder I, had ruled the kingdom of Wayrest, but poor health had forced him to retire. Cassinder had no children, so he legally adopted his half-brother Uriel and abdicated the kingdom. 7 years later, Cassinder inherited the empire at the death of his mother. 3 years after that, Uriel once again found himself the recipient of Cassinder's inheritance. Uriel IV's reign was a long and difficult one. Despite being a legally adopted member of the Septim family, and despite the Lariat family with its high position, indeed, they were distant cousins of the Septims. Few of the Elder Council could be persuaded to accept him fully as a blood descendant of Tiber. The council assumed much responsibility during Catarius I's long reign and Cassinder's I's short one, and a strong-willed alien monarch like Uriel IV found it impossible to command their unswerving fealty. Time and again, the council and emperor were at odds, and time and again, the council won the battles. Since the days of Pelagius II, the Elder Council had consisted of the wealthiest men and women in the empire, and the power they wielded was conclusive. The council's last victory over Uriel IV was posthumous. Andric, Uriel IV's son, was disinherited by vote of council, and a cousin more closely related to the original Septim line was proclaimed Sepphoris II in 3E268. For the first 9 years of Sepphoris II's reign, the loyal to Andric battled the imperial forces. In an act that the sage Irantine called the Tiber Septim's heart beating no more. The council granted Andric the high-rock kingdom of Shornhelm to end the war, and Andric's descendants still rule there. By and large, Sepphoris II had foes that demanded more of his attention than Andric. From out of a Cimmerian, a nightmare, in the words of Arantine, a man who called himself the Cameron Usurper led an army of Daedra and undead warriors on a rampage through Valenwood, conquering kingdoms after kingdom. Few could resist his onslaughts, and as month turned to bloody month, in the year 3E249, even fewer tried. Sepphoris II sent more and more mercenaries into Hammerfell to stop the usurpers' northward march, but they were bribed or slaughtered and raised as undead. The story of the Cameron usurper deserves a book of its own. It is recommended that the reader find Palaux Ilthries, The Fall of the Usurper, for more detail. In short, however, the destruction of the forces of the usurper had little to do with the efforts of the emperor. The result was a great regional victory and an increase in hostility toward the seemingly inefficacious empire. Uriel V, Sepphoris II's son, and successor, swiveled opinion back toward the latent power of the empire, turning the attention of Tamriel away from the internal strife. Uriel V embarked on a series of invasions, beginning almost from the moment he took the throne in 3E 268. Uriel V conquered Roscrea in 271, Catholici in 276, Nelsey in 279, and Esroniet in 284. In 3E 288, he embarked on his most ambitious enterprise, the invasion of the continent kingdom of Akavir. This ultimately proved a failure for 2 years after Uriel V was killed in Akavir on the Battle of Eonith. Nevertheless, Uriel V holds a reputation second only to Tiber as one of the 2 great warrior emperors of Tamriel. The last 4 emperors, beginning with Uriel V's infant son, are described in the 4th and final volume of the series. Okay, last volume. Oh, okay, and last book also. The first book of the series described in brief the first 8 emperors of the Septim dynasty, beginning with the Tiber I. The second volume described the War of the Red Diamond and the 6 emperors who followed. The third volume described the troubles of the next 3 emperors: the frustrated Uriel IV, the ineffectual Sepphoris II, and the heroic Uriel V. On Uriel V's death across the sea in distant hostile Akavir, Uriel VI was but 5 years old. In fact, Uriel VI was born only shortly before his father left for Akavir. Uriel V's only other progeny by a morganatic alliance were the twins Morhatha and Eloisa, who had been born a month after Uriel V left. Uriel VI was crowned in the 290th year of the 290th of the Third Era. The imperial consort Thronica, as the boy's mother, was given in a restricted regency until Uriel VI reached his majority. The Outer Council retained the real power, as they had ever since the days of Kataria I. The Council so enjoyed its own unlimited and unrestricted freedom to promulgate laws and generate profits that Uriel VI had not given full license to rule until 307, when he was already 22 years old. He had been slowly assuming positions of responsibility for years, but both the council and his mother, who enjoyed that even her limited regency, were loath to hand over the reins. By the time he came to the throne, the mechanisms of government gave him little power except for that of the imperial veto. This power, however, he regularly and vigorously exercised. By 313, Leo VI could boast that, with conviction, that he truly did rule Tamriel. He utilized defunct spy networks and guard units to bully and coerce the difficult members of the Outer Council. His half-sister, Morrowind, was, not surprisingly, his staunchest ally, especially after her marriage to Baron Ulf Gerson of Winterhold brought her considerable wealth and influence. As the sage Ugaridge said, Ur V conquered Esriniet, but Ur VI conquered the Outer Council. When Ur VI fell off a horse and could not be resuscitated by the finest imperial healers, his beloved Morrowind took up the imperial tiara. At 25 years of age, she had been described by, admittedly self-serving, diplomats as the most beautiful creature in all of Tamriel. She was certainly well-learned, vivacious, athletic, and a well-practiced politician. She brought the Archmagister of Skyrim to the Imperial City and created the second Imperial Battle Mage since the days of Tybert II. Morrowind finished the job her brother had begun and made the Imperial Province a true government under the Empress and later the Emperor. Outside the Imperial Province, however, the Empire had been slowly disintegrating. Open revolutions and civil wars had raged unchallenged since the days of her grandfather Severus II. Carefully coordinating her counterattacks, Morrowind slowly claimed back her rebellious vassals, always avoiding overextending herself. Though Morrowind's military campaigns were remarkably successful, her deliberate pace often frustrated the council. One councilman, and an Argonian who took the Colovian name of Thorocles Romus, furious at her refusal to send troops to his troubled Black March, is commonly believed to have hired the assassins who claimed her life in 3E339. Romus was summarily tried and executed, though he protested his innocence to the last. Morrowind had no surviving children, and Eloisa had died of a fever 4 years before. Eloisa's 25th-year-old son, Pelagius, was thus crowned Pelagius IV. Pelagius IV continued his aunt's work, slowly bringing back under his wing the radical and refractory kingdoms, duchies, and baronies of the empire. He exercised Morrowind's poise and circumspect pace in his endeavors, but alas, he did not attain her success. The kingdoms had been free of constraint for so long that even a benign imperial presence was considered odious. Nevertheless, when Pelagius died, after an astonishing 49-year reign, Tamriel was closer to unity than it had been since the days of Ur the First. Our current emperor, His Awesome and Terribly Majesty, what? His Awesome and Terrible Majesty Uriel VII, the son of Pelagius IV, has the diligence of his great aunt Morahatha, the political skill of his great uncle Uri VI, and the military prowess of his great grand uncle Uri V. For 21 years, he reigned and brought justice and order to Tamriel. In the year 389, however, his imperial battle mage, Jagar Tharn, betrayed him. Uriel VII was imprisoned in a dimension of Tharn's creation, and Tharn used his sorcery of illusion to assume the Emperor's aspect. For the next 10 years, Tharn abused imperial privilege, but did not continue Uriel VII's schedule of reconquest. It's not entirely known what Tharn's goal and personal accomplishments were during the 10 years he masqueraded as his liege lord. In 399, an enigmatic champion defeated the battle mage in the dungeons of the imperial palace and freed Uriel VII from his other dimension jail. Since his emancipation, Uriel VII has worked diligently to renew the battles that would reunite Tamriel. Tharn's interference broke the momentum. It is true, but years since then have proven that there is hope of the golden age of Tiber Septim's rule, glorifying Tamriel once again. Okay. Yeah, that is enough for today. So, that is enough reading for today.
Any time now.
Okay, I think we're still trying to find the other person, right? Okay, so we're trying to find... a deer in the air. I think it could be Thieves Guild. I think it could be upstairs, I suppose.
Not now, Outlander.
Move out of the way.
Head on.
Okay, let's try going up. Don't forget to follow the channel also and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're really pushing out content right now, so I'd really appreciate it. That snake should be here in St. Ohm somewhere, although if the heat's on, she may not be parading around in public. Ask her around, perhaps someone has already seen her. Okay.
What is this regarding Nord?
I don't know. You. Service? How about Ardena? Oh gosh.
The prey approaches.
Hello. Adahar? And you were here? Whatever her name is. Crisis Curio. The new play? Okay, goodbye. Hi.
Are you okay?
Yep.
Oh, no weakness or fault.
Speak quickly, Outlander, or go away.
No art here. Not the Dark Brotherhood. Maybe she's down.
Oh, no weakness or fault. If you're here for keep
What's this
moving,
about?
you'll get more than you bargained for.
Please move. You guys are in the way. For fuck's sake. Get out of the way. Okay, I know out of here. And if I know out of here, she'll be staying out of sight as long as the census and excise agent is looking about. Probably down in the underworks, look for trapdoors. Okay. The Imperial tax collectors. Oh, okay. Alright, well. That's what I thought, but I figured I'd ask anyways.
This is the end of your
Wait.
sweat! Your pain is nearing an end!
Oh, I should have used my potion that I had. Wait, shit.
From where do you hail, friend?
You've got my ear, let's hear it.
Oh, man. Wait, I had... Gosh darn it. Forgot to save. Back where we started. Gosh darn it. At least now we know where she is, so it's gonna be easier to find. Hey. Hello? No. Goodbye.
I will listen, Outlander, but make it quick.
I have you! Die, Fetcher! Your life's end is approaching!
Well, shit. Oh, shit. Stop it. For fuck's sake. Annoying. Okay. Fucking.
cannot go unnoticed. You will be disgraced for this.
She went into the water. You're not supposed to go into the water. You're an NPC.
Pain is nearing an end. Vexer!
What the fuck?
Your pain is nearing an end.
Stupid bitch.
You will die.
Fuck you. Wait, but isn't that technically well, I guess because well, it is light armor. Okay. Fuck. Okay, but I'm gonna have to steal armor. I'm gonna steal you. stuff and then we'll come back. Also, we need to get potions.
I don't have a lot of patience for questions out
Do
loud.
you want
Okay,
something?
and go away.
Keep moving.
Fuck you.
Three gods, one truth.
Whatever you're looking for, I'm sure I don't know how to find it. No, I don't think so.
Man.
You talk too much out there.
Okay.
Spit it out or hit the road.
Submit to the three, the spirits and thy lords. Find a healer and stop bothering me.
Is it necessary that you speak with me?
Watch yourself. We'll have no trouble here.
Oh, fuck me, no.
Can you even...
Maybe.
Let's not make this official out there.
Alchemist, I guess. Barter. Goodbye.
Find a healer and stop bothering me.
Shut up. Wait, actually...
Spit it out or hit the road. I don't have a lot of patience for find a healer and stop bothering.
Okay. Well, we can go back into Ohms, I guess. Wait, are you in? Are you who I want?
Sweet moon sugar.
Ah, great. So Chaos says to you, speak with Adhere, and you have done this thing, and you are speaking with Adhere. But Adhere will not talk to you about the Nerevarines or the Sixth House, because why? Because Adhere is at this moment very distracted by a nice census and excise agent who also wants to speak with her. You do not know this. They are the collectors of the Emperor's taxes and tariffs. And the Emperor has outlawed trade in many things, like artifacts and ebony, and the census and the excise agent will enjoy a pest about such things for several reasons. The census and the excise agent is not Adhere's favorite person. We want Adhere to help you make the bad agent go away. I'm a part of these guild too. You know that? Okay. Okay. Oh, great. Okay. I guess we will go now.
Speak now or leave now. Keep moving. Find a healer and stop bothering me. You talk too much, Outlander.
Spit it out or hit the road.
Stay out of trouble and you won't get hurt.
Do you want something?
Since it's an exit.
Let's not make this official.
Wait, are you the agent?
Stay out of trouble and you won't get hurt.
Yes. She took a gondola to the mainland. What a disappointment, but thank you for your time. I was just heading back to the mainland myself anyway, and maybe I wouldn't return later. Cool. I'm going to guess that that is what we needed to do.
suffers wounds.
Census and excess agent. Really? You have made the agent go away. This is a good trick, and adhering does not ask you how you do this trick, because adhering does not want you to know. But now adhering is feeling quite good, and happy to talk to you about the nearing court or the Sixth House court. Go ahead, ask questions. Sixth House court. This one knows about, because it is about smuggling. Some smart smugglers are suddenly too busy for their old clients because they have a new employer. The Sixth House, who pays very well. What do they smuggle now? This one does not know, because they are very secret. And this is odd, because these smugglers are always loud and bragging, and now they hush up like fat, bellied kitties, full of sweet meats. So, it's big business. This you cannot say. Here's good. Neverine. Yes. Superstition. I see. Goodbye. Okay. Technically, I think it's like the... Yeah. So, we'll actually end it here. I think. Well, actually, no. We'll go somewhere so that we can heal. Come back and be like almost dead.
Spit it out or
I will
hit the
listen,
road.
Outlander, but make it quick.
Move. Feel the beat and lost in time. So tomorrow
If
we'll
you're here
do
for
Kingdom
trouble,
Come.
You'll get watch yourself.
No.
We'll have no trouble here.
So tomorrow we will tomorrow we will we play Kingdom Come Deliverance. And then we start all over again. So Morrowind is on Monday. Baldur's Gate on Tuesday, etc. In Baldur's Gate, we'll do the DLC. Yeah. The DLC that we were supposed to do a while ago. Well, the DLC that we were supposed to do after Baldur's Gate. If I can take a boat to where I need to go. Hello. Travel. Lalu. Perfect. Lalu is exactly the place that I wanted to go.
I will listen, Outlander.
I go up. Because we're going to House Lalu so we can rest.
about you, Outlander. Go ahead.
Wealth beyond measure.
You dream a tall figure with a mask greeted you, saying, "There are many rooms in the house of the master. Be easy for you, for from the hands of your enemies. If it seemed you had died, you could see yourself figures. With your own hands, you touched the figure. The figure drew breath, opened eyes, and rose from the table. Then the room was gone, and this world filled with light, and you woke." Okay,